Good afternoon, Pro Starters. Hey, we are getting into Chapter 21. It is the end of the line here in Level 1. But Chapter 21 is front of the house basics. Boy, I'll tell you what, we need a strong team in the front and a strong team in the back. So as we take a look at front of the house basics, in the big picture, you know, people dine out for all types of reasons. They come to our restaurants and our hotels for birthdays, anniversaries, sometimes weddings, christenings, quinceañeras, sometimes funerals as well. So we need to bear in mind that people come to the hospitality industry for all different reasons. You know, and then when people do go out, they have a choice of where they can go. They can go to a formal restaurant or something a little less formal. So as it says in the book, and I'll just reiterate what the book says, in a formal dining environment, you might be dealing with a maitre d' who's the master of the house. I used to work as a maitre d' years ago. As a matter of fact, it's important that you know that this is the first video that I am not in a chef's outfit. It's so important to understand that in hospitality, all of us need to be able to play the front of the house and the back of the house equally as well. That's what makes a strong manager. That's what makes a great general manager. That's what makes a great owner. So we're in a formal environment. Maitre d' might be heading the entire room. There may be a head waiter in each section of the dining room. Maybe he's accompanied by a captain. There might be a front waiter and a back waiter. Perhaps there's an apprentice involved there. Very, very formal. In Denver, I know we're dealing with ProStart here, but the Brown Palace Hotel has such a restaurant, the Palace Arms Restaurant, inside the Brown Palace. Very nice. For those restaurants that are a little less formal, we probably just have a manager. We've got a hostess or a host. We've got the wait staff. Maybe there's a bartender. There's a busser. Might be an expediter. So again, this is front of the house basics that we're sharing with you today. You know, when it comes to being ready in the front of the house and having the proper tools that it takes to get the job done, a server usually needs a corkscrew, a pen, a pad, and maybe a crummer. You know, a crummer isn't used in all restaurants. It's typically used only in tablecloth restaurants. And a crummer is one of those devices where we scrape along the tablecloth and we pick up all the breadcrumbs that have fallen. Another thing that occurs when we're in the front of the house is how do we set the table? Well, actually, I'm taking you to class right now. I'm going to show you how we do that. So come on over here. Can you follow me? Hey, I'm going this way. Come on over. Come on over. Okay, so left side, right side issues. We're setting the table. So let's figure this out. Left side, right side. Okay. Here we go. This is front of the house basics number 101. The word left has 4 letters. The word right has 5 letters. Let's set a dining room table, okay? First item we're going to put out there is a fork. Where in the world does a fork go? Fork has 4 letters. Left has 4 letters. Fork goes on the left. Okay, we're setting the table. We need to use a knife and a spoon. Where do they go? 5 letters, that's right. Both the knife and the spoon go on the right side. Okay, we're building our place setting here, front of the house basics. We're going to bring a glass into the mix, okay? Let's just say it's a water glass. Glass, 5 letters. Sounds good. What if it's a water glass? Two 5-letter words. What if you need a side dish, little plate or a bowl, a side dish? Let's check it out over here. Let's check this out. If you need a side dish or a side bowl, or if you want to call that a B&B plate, those all live over here on the left-hand side. So I know that 90% of you watching this video are right-handed. If everybody's right-handed, what is the fork doing on the left-hand side? Shouldn't it be on the right-hand side? That's something you should discuss with your teacher, but this actually goes way, way back to the time of Caterina de Medici. It's the Italian family that helped bring, out of the 13 and 1400s, they handled the banking in Italy. Caterina was married to a prince in France, and she brought the fork as a gift to the Prince of France because they didn't have forks at the time. The history of our industry is really, really good. Anyway, this is how we set the table, and I think this all makes a lot of sense. Let's take it a step further. When we are going to bring food to the table, okay, that's the next step here. If we're going to serve food, we should serve food to the left of our guest, okay? In fact, they're expecting that. In fact, if I was sitting here and the server was coming around on my right, I'd probably lean a little to the right to make room for that server serving that entree or serving that dessert, okay? So when we serve food, 4 letters, we serve it on the left. What about if we serve a drink? Well, a drink is 5 letters, and any and all drinks will go on the right-hand side, okay? So follow me on this one, just so that we can keep up with what I'm talking about. When we talk about drinks, water, 5 letters. Beers, 5 letters. Wines. Well, coffee is known as Java, so Java, 5 letters, okay? Water, beers, wines, Javas, even cocktails. If cocktails would be served on the right-hand side, because you know why? Everybody's right-handed. That's why all the glasses are on the right-hand side in the first place. So let's put down cocktails. Well, that's not 5 letters. Is there a 5-letter word for cocktails? There is. Beautiful. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how we approach the table and we look at left and right side issues, okay? So we talked about serving. We're serving food, okay, or serving drinks. When it's all over and the busser comes over, what is the busser supposed to do? Clear. 5 letters. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is a terrific overview on how we should approach the table, left side, right side issues, and where everything belongs. Okay, let's get off the board here. Let's just get back to some of the things that are in the textbook. The next one is, if we're going to be in the front of the house, whether we're in a casual dining, a fast casual environment, or fine dining, we're probably going to be working with a POS system. That is a point of sale system, an electronic computer that enables us to send our orders to the kitchen, send them to the bar. We can print a guest check. We can see how much the customer has ordered. We can tell what time the order came in. It tells us everything. Other issues in this chapter, greeting the guest. You know, when we greet the guest, we should be doing it in a positive manner, and we need to greet the guest usually to take an order. We have order takers and we have salespeople. You know, the book talks about suggestive selling. Suggestive selling is not, what do you want? Suggestive selling is having a command of the menu and making suggestions based on what you like, what you've really tried. And so when you use suggestive selling and you really use it from an experiential perspective, customers really appreciate that. Also in the front of the house, we might be dealing with alcohol service. And so, you know, if you're not 18, you can't serve alcohol, but if you are 18, in the state of Colorado, you can serve alcohol. So be aware of that as you're getting a little bit older, okay? But with that comes checking IDs and making sure that the people are who they say they are. You know, there are styles of service worth mentioning as well. The traditional style, that's American style, French style, English style, Russian style, or contemporary styles of service, quick service and fast casual. I had just mentioned those. And on top of all this, there's beverage service. So there's coffee, there's tea, there's soft drinks, as well as beer, wine, and alcohol. So, you know, a lot of the operations have a full-blown mix. At the end of all of it, we have to get some kind of a payment from our customer, usually credit cards, sometimes cash, occasionally a personal check. And along the way, we may have to process coupons and discounts based on whatever promotions are going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of chapter 21. I am delighted to have gotten you this far. It's Chef Jackson Lamb down here, dressed up as somebody in the front of the house, signing off for now. But what I'd like to do is continue as we get into level 2 of ProStart. Signing off, Jackson Lamb. Thank you very much, everybody.